We're here in Boston, Massachusetts, as the election is heating up to talk about Question 4, the referendum which will potentially legalize marijuana in the state of Massachusetts. Lawyer and advocate Will Luzier has taken the helm of the Massachusetts Question 4 fight. We sat down with him to get a play-by-play on how this measure might take shape.
We voted for medical marijuana in 2012. 4 years later, there are only 7 dispensaries open. The DPH program has been glacially slow, and so there are a lot of folks who may need medicine but aren't able to get it. And there are a lot of folks who don't want to go on the DPH list. Either they might be veterans with veterans benefits or retired federal employees. They might have a firearms ID card. They might be undocumented immigrants. For a whole range of reasons, they may need medicine, but they don't want to go on that list. And this would allow them to cut out the middleman, the Department of Public Health, and make decisions just between the patient and their doctor.
How would Question 4 benefit everybody that might not be interested in medical use?
It will allow folks to have up to an ounce of marijuana in public, up to 10 ounces in their own home, so long as 9 ounces of it are under lock and key. It would allow folks to grow up to 6 plants or 12 plants if 2 people are growing in the home. So, it will, in essence, take away the criminal aspect of possession of marijuana for people over the age of 21.
From a legal perspective, what is the most important thing for a voter to know about Question 4 and legalization in general across the country?
Well, it doesn't make sense for the government to be telling people what they can and can't do in the privacy of their own homes, particularly since there are other substances that are legal, namely alcohol and cigarettes, that are much more dangerous than marijuana. So from a freedom perspective, it just makes sense that people should be allowed to use something that's relatively benign.
How has it been explaining that to the electorate of Massachusetts this go around?
We decriminalized marijuana in 2008 in Massachusetts. So there aren't a lot of people in jail now for marijuana use, but there's still a lot of people getting arrested. We did a report with the ACLU a couple of weeks ago that indicated that if you're black or Latino in Massachusetts, you're 3.3 times more likely to get arrested for a marijuana offense than if you're white, even though usage rates are relatively the same. If you're black or Latino in Massachusetts, you're over 7 times more likely to get arrested for a distribution offense. So we say that blacks and Latinos are getting arrested for selling marijuana to whites who are not getting arrested for smoking it, which is a terrible dichotomy and a racial injustice.
What would your message be to the electorate, somebody who's sitting at home watching this who might be fearful, for their children? There are just people that are worried.
We're just as interested as our opponents in protecting children and making sure that youth don't use marijuana or don't have access to marijuana. The initiative talks about having child-proof packaging, packaging that's and there's a prohibition against any advertising that appeals to people under the age of 21. So a lot of the materials that our opponents have are just scare tactics, really.
Sure.
And I would say, don't be fooled by the scare tactics of our opponents, is what I would say to folks at home who might be watching this. We anticipate that this is going to be that there's not going to be a big change. There were recently 2 studies, one by a Harvard economist named Jeffrey Miron and another one by the Drug Policy Alliance, that both said in states that have legal marijuana, nothing really changes that much, except you get a lot of tax revenue.
Thanks for speaking with us today.
Pleasure to meet you.
Good luck.
Thanks so much.
Pleasure.